Hello guys, I'm Shlok and you're watching Tech Burner. There are some things about Android that most people are wrong about. You can see these things on a lot of YouTube videos and a lot of big websites and forums as well. And this in turn reduces the performance and the battery life of your devices. So without wasting any further time, let's get started with the video. A lot of websites tell you the methods of preventing your phone from getting infected by viruses, or they tell you about some antivirus applications, and I've seen a lot of YouTube videos doing that as well. The real truth is that there are no viruses on Android. If you go up on Google and search the definition of virus, a virus is a program that makes changes to the operating system and does harm to the user or the user data. When we talk in terms of Android, there are no applications that can make changes to the system without root access. And Android is pretty much very secure when it comes to the user data, and the specific application data is also managed very nicely by Android, and it cannot be used by any other application until the user itself allows access to it. But that does not mean that there's nothing that can harm your Android device. There are basically two things that pose a threat on Android, and that is malware applications, and the second one is vulnerabilities inside Android. So malware applications are pretty simple, and these are the applications that provide you with a lot of advertisements. They would give you push notifications in your notification shade, and when you open the application, it would be filled with advertisements, and it also might redirect you to some spammy websites. If you're downloading all of your applications from the Play Store, there is very little chance that you will get any malware application, and at the end of the day, you can always uninstall the application and get rid of it. But when it comes to vulnerabilities inside of Android, like we had the stage fright attack that caused harm to a lot of users, and if I'm being extremely honest, there is nothing that you can do about it. There was no antivirus that could have protected stage fright, and even the past vulnerabilities and hacks that happened, antivirus couldn't do anything. And that's because all of the Android security rules also apply on the antivirus, and the antivirus applications also can't make changes to system or any other applications. So the best way to keep your Android device 100% secure would be to update it regularly and install all the security updates that have been rolled out by a manufacturer. Almost everybody calls Android open source, but what they don't realize is that Android is a very complex operating system, and it has a lot of parts inside it. It has the kernel, it has the Google applications, it has the system binaries, it has a lot of other things are built into Android. So yes, we all call Android open source, but actually only AOSP and some other parts are open source, and the rest of the parts like the Google applications are not open source. And most of the Google applications like Google Play Music, Google Calendar, Google Camera, and all of the other applications like YouTube or most of the basic applications are not open source. AOSP is Android open source project, and it's kind of like the open source part of Android. I've also made a complete video on it, you can check it out in the card section. But to sum it all up, if you're using stock Android right now, you would be having 2 parts of open source software and 3 parts of closed source software. If the whole ROM was 500 megabytes, you would have 200 megabytes of open source software and 300 megabytes of closed source software. But that does not mean it's bad. It is still better than most of the other operating systems that are closed source. So before moving on to the next one, make sure you press the subscribe button and also tap on the notification bell, because I'll be making content like this daily. A lot of you guys might have done this, and I've done this too. TouchWiz, HTC Sense, MIUI, and all these skins made by manufacturers are not actually skins. I've seen a lot of big YouTubers and a lot of tech forums as well call these skins. So I'll try to explain this with an example. A lot of parts of Unix has been used to create Android, and a lot of parts of Android have been used to create something like Mozilla OS or Sailfish OS, but we never call Android a skinned version of Unix or Sailfish OS or Mozilla OS a skinned version of Android. That's because all of these are custom operating systems, and a lot of features have been added to Unix to make up Android, and a lot of things have been changed in the Mozilla OS to create it. So just like that, TouchWiz, HTC Sense, they're not just skins and they're not just themes over Android. They have a lot of new applications and a lot of new features that were not present in Android before that. Just for example, Samsung has a lot of different applications and a lot of features that Android doesn't have, and it also has the Odin mode that is very different from what stock Android has. So you can call them custom operating systems, new operating systems, custom interface, but definitely can't call them skins. A lot of users think that their battery life or performance would increase if they close all the applications from the recents panel. So first of all, it's not called the recents panel anymore, and it is the overview screen. And the second thing, closing all these applications will negatively impact your battery life and even your performance. On Android, if the RAM is full, it does not take up more battery or does not reduce performance of the device. If you need to launch a new application, Android has a built-in task manager and it will automatically close the applications that are not required. But if you manually close all the applications in the recents panel, Android will next time try to fill it up with new applications. And this will spoil your user experience a lot and would also impact performance of the main applications that you run. So if your phone does not freeze or your applications don't hang, there is no apparent reason for closing all these applications. A lot of people think that just rooting your phone will add all these extra features like overclocking your phone and some new root apps and themes, etc. But in reality, root is just the topmost level of the directory and it gives you access to the whole system just like you have administrative access on Windows. So rooting your phone will not give you any extra features or anything special, but rooting will allow you to install some new applications or a custom kernel that will in turn allow you to change the frequency of your CPU or overclock your CPU or add some extra features with the new applications. So rooting is just like a gateway to all these modifications, but rooting in itself doesn't do anything and just give you some extra permissions. So I hope you guys liked all these and let me know in the comment section below how you felt about the video. Make sure you press the subscribe button because I'll be making a lot more content like this, and you can also watch some previous videos on this channel.